So please, hello everybody. We are alive. Welcome back to the Goldgell Getaways travel podcast. My name is Josh, and every week when we do this podcast, I'm joined by my co-host and friend Matt. How you doing, man?
What's going on, Josh? Going with a little Friday matinee podcast for us this week. Change
I like
up.
that. That's good.
Makes
I didn't even think about that. Matinee
makes us feel adult by using the word matinee.
makes me feel old. Like I can't stay awake for the 7 o'clock show, so I have to go to the early one.
You have to go to the matinee and then the early bird dinner. Nice.
Exactly. Hey, I love early bird dinners. All right, you can usually get a pretty good deal on stuff. Well, welcome back, everyone. You should prepare yourself for a spooky, strange voice chiming in from probably my side every so often. She has no headphones on and can't hear anything that's going on except what I say. So she will be chiming in.
That's the way we like it.
Of course. Well, welcome everybody. If you don't know who Goldgell Getaways Goldgell Getaways is, and what the podcast is all about. So we are a full service travel planning agency. Boy, it has been so long since I've done this. And what Taylor's like Taylor's gonna bring down this podcast today.
So I can hear it better.
Full service travel planning podcast. Whether you're looking to come to Walt Disney World, go across the pond, take a cruise, we have somebody who can help you plan your next destination vacation. You can head on over to www.goldgellgetaways.com with all the background and stuff going on in here. Eric in the chat, Dave Adams, how you doing? Joy S, good afternoon. So Matt and I, boy,
it's been a long time.
It's been a while, right? We've been super busy. Matt was just down here for a couple of weeks. And tonight we are going early because I'm heading to Halloween Horror Nights tonight. Yippee! I can't wait for GoldCon, so Matt will be there too, so he can experience all the fun.
That's the tough part for me, Josh. Over the next month and a half, I have to take myself pretty much off YouTube. I can't talk to people. I want to come in blank slate. I just want you to be like, hey, we're going in this house first. And then it's all downhill from there.
Well, it's not just Matt. Everybody's gonna be scared.
Yes, well, I mean, other people will be there. They will also be scared. But the highlight,
The rest of us don't matter.
we're really like Matt is the one who's been really like talking himself up as like, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be so scared. He's gonna have to bring extra underwear.
That's why, Josh, that's why I'm actually decided to stay at Universal that night.
Oh, that's right. He's gonna stay. He's gonna stay at Cabana Bay, I think.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So I can run away. So I don't have to run far if I.
Yeah.
Cabana
if I'm
Bay
getting
is
chased.
far from the work, so.
It's a lot closer. It's closer than where I was.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So awesome. So tonight we're also going to be talking about Disney Genie. I know a lot of people have been commenting on Taylor and I's videos, asking us in the live streams, stopping us in the parks and asking us all about Disney Genie, what we think, our thoughts. And I think mostly when we're talking about Disney Genie here, we're talking about the new Lightning Lane that is coming this fall to Walt Disney World. So if you guys have got questions throughout this live stream, throughout the podcast, please feel free, leave them in the comments. We will try to answer them as we go. We're not going to answer all of them, but we will do the best we can. But first, let's talk about some changes, Matt, that are coming to. It's so sad. It really is kind of sad. But Matt, why don't you start off? Because
since I'm the culprit behind this one. I broke the news to Josh yesterday. As you can see, if you're watching this live, you can see the tears rolling down his face. Barbados with the boys has been canceled. Some work commitments from me will not allow me to leave the country at that time. So Barbados with the boys at this time is, we'll just say, not canceled, postponed.
Sure.
Postponed. I don't. You never know. We might pick that one back up at a later time. But Barbados with the boys, for as much as we hyped that one up for the last almost 4 months is no more
Well,
right now.
and I think not only is it, I mean, Matt obviously has some work stuff that's not going to allow him to do that, but on the flip side of that, we're still not really sure what is happening with Barbados and how they're kind of operating some things, and we haven't really heard back from Royal Caribbean yet, and we're slowly approaching kind of like the deadline to make the final payment, and right now it's looking like Barbados is going to require everybody to quarantine for like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
So it's like something crazy, which obviously like we can't go and quarantine for 2 weeks and then get on the ship and then come back and do all these other things. So it's just, unfortunately, it's not gonna happen. So we're gonna, like the voice from across the way has said, we're gonna postpone it. So I know Taylor's actually pretty disappointed about it. She was really looking forward to zip lining and tubing down the rivers, as much as Matt was looking forward to also zip lining, over the volcanoes. So, keep, if you have booked this with us, just reach out. We're going to get it all set up. And I don't want to talk too much about cancellation fees, things like that, or what the actual options are until we hear back from Royal Caribbean to know what they are. But more than likely, we're going to take our deposits and stuff, and we're just going to move them to either another cruise, or I'm going to jump over our two that we usually talk about. You can also push those to Alaska if you still want to join us on our Alaskan group cruise next July. We are sailing out of Seattle, Washington, and we are going to be heading up the coast to Alaska. It's going to be awesome. We are super excited, and we are trying to nail down some port adventures. You don't have to do the same port adventures as us, but we're going to try to do them as a group, and we do have a fairly large group, so they will probably fill up fairly quickly. So if you're interested in joining us on the Alaska group cruise on Ovation of the Seas, I'm doing pretty well at remembering this off the top of my head. You can send an email to events@goldgellgetaways.com. It is up on the screen. Put in the subject line Alaska group cruise. Yippee! I'm super excited. But
Yay! Yay!
Yeah. That's Taylor. If anybody's wondering.
Noise is coming from the peanut gallery.
Yep, that's me.
So, so pretty exciting. Matt, you want to talk about our other stuff, our blocked rooms?
Yep. So we got some blocked rooms for a couple of the, I like to refer to them as the New England school vacation timeframes. So room blocks are where we have blocked out rooms at a little bit lower rate than some of the other agencies out there. So that's going to be February 19th. This is all 2022, obviously. 7-night on the Symphony of the Seas out of Miami, with stops at Perfect Day, Antigua, and St. Thomas. So like I said, that's for a lot of New Englanders, where I'm from, that is February school vacation. And then we are also going to be redoing that cruise April 16th, which is the spring vacation for New England schools as well. If you'd like to go, and both itineraries are exactly the same. If you'd like information on that, events@goldgellgetaways.com, you can just type in the title, blocked rooms, and then we can dig deeper into which one you're actually referring to. Perfect Day, Josh. That's my goal for 2022, besides the other two cruises I'm on.
Yeah, right. Perfect Day. That's this video clip right here. Looks a little hazy. This isn't my video, so don't anybody.
Well, we know it's not my kind of picture, so
that's
save that for another podcast on
you're right.
My photography skills.
We'll talk about that maybe in 2 weeks. So we're going to break right into the podcast this week and talk about Disney Genie. I think there's a lot to kind of go over, even though we still don't have necessarily all of the details about Disney Genie and necessarily how it's going to operate and work. And we'll probably do something like on that. My guess is probably sometime in October or November, whenever we officially get the release of this. But like I said earlier, when we kind of opened up the podcast, I think the main thing everybody wants to know about is Lightning Lane and what Lightning Lane means, what we think about Lightning Lane, all of those good things. So I don't know where should we start, Matt? I mean,
I think we just start out with the basic premise of Genie. It's technically considered Genie Plus, right? That's the exact proper title for it, right? Or is it just the Disney Genie?
I actually think it's just
Genie.
Disney
Yeah,
Genie.
I
Disney
have it
Genie
up here. It's just
Plus.
Genie.
Yeah, Disney Genie Plus will be the additional paid
The-
service.
Right. So this is pretty much, if I'm getting it, my understanding, because obviously I was away for 2 weeks and I was trying to learn about this while on the run in the park. It was just crazy. So Disney Genie is going to replace My Disney Experience. Correct?
Well, I think it's actually not going to do that. The way that it looks like it's going to operate is that it will actually be right within the My Disney Experience app. So there
Okay.
won't be, which I think is actually kind of nice. I think that's what we thought for a while. Is this going to replace the My Disney Experience app? I think that would cause a lot of confusion and a lot of headaches for a lot of guests visiting the park. So I will say I do like that it's just going to be synced in with the My Disney Experience
Okay.
app, and
Makes sense.
I'll keep the majority of my comments of the full operation of My Disney Experience working properly without Disney Genie. We'll see how that goes. So,
Right.
but yeah. So, I mean, what else, right? So, we've got this new app that is basically going to help you plan your day, so to speak, right?
Yeah,
From the sounds of it.
that's the way they're using their terminology for it. And then the whole Genie Plus aspect of it is pretty much where everybody's. I'll use it, say it lightly. Everybody's getting bent out of shape about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fee portion of it. So for Disney World, it's $15 per park ticket per day. We'll only talk Disney World. We don't have to get into Disneyland yet.
Right.
We can kind of skip over that one. And what that entitles you to is pretty much a little bit more flexibility on booking passes. If for some of the mid, I like to refer to them as almost maybe the mid-major attractions, to plan out your day. And the one thing, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, you can only start booking these around 7 a.m. in the day of. I saw
yeah.
part of
So
the training.
I think that seems to be the case. Is that these will be available to you same day.
Right.
So no more of having to worry about 60 days out like FastPass was or FastPass Plus was, where, if you're totally new to this whole thing and what Disney Plus or what Genie Plus is replacing, which is FastPass Plus in the app, to get some of those premier attractions like Flight of Passage, Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, Frozen, the list goes on. You would have to make those reservations 60 days in advance, meaning that you had to have your day planned 60 days in advance at least. And I think for most people, they thought that was pretty crazy. For most of us who are planners, right? That's kind of why a lot of us are travel agents. We didn't necessarily mind that aspect. A lot of us probably had our days planned out 6 months in advance when we made our dining reservations. So, which is probably why people think that we're crazy. But yeah, so I think that's a pretty big change. I think that people are really going to like that. I mean, what do you think about that? Planning, being able to select those that day.
Uh, that might freak me out a little bit. I'm used to that so far in advance. Let's get everything planned out so I'm ready to go and get going, not kind of have to try to plan at 7 a.m. to try to get into a park at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. And then when things don't go my way, I kind of have to audible adjust last minute, which.
Yeah, I mean, the only way and I know we're not talking about Disneyland, but the only thing that I can really kind of compare this to
It's Max
for
Pass.
us and what is coming is Disneyland, which was Max Pass, which was something that you could purchase ahead of time, but you could never select your rides and attractions until you were there inside the park. So we didn't necessarily mind that. The only issue that we had with that is that sometimes you could only get that attraction for 4 or 5 hours from the time that you were actually there in the park, and so my concern is right now with this is availability of what's going to be there and kind of how that whole thing's going to work. Can we modify our selections to a different time, all of those types of things. And of course we don't have all of those details yet. We're not going to get those details until later on. So let's backtrack real quick before we start really diving down into the lightning lane and just talk a little bit about the actual Disney Genie application that's going to be within the My Disney Experience app. So this is a complimentary in-app service that is in the My Disney Experience app. And this service will easily map out an entire day inspired by things you love, maximizing your park time and your fun. And itineraries update throughout the day so you can better go with the flow as the day changes. And it also says more flexibility and fun, bringing together all the new features and existing favorites in one central place: a personal tip board, forecasted wait times, mobile ordering, dining and experience reservations, restaurant check-in, and a virtual assistant. So I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, which was that I hope that My Disney Experience app does not crash, because when they first started launching FastPass Plus, it was this thing where they had so many issues trying to keep it up and running.
Right.
You would need to take screenshots of your fast passes to prove that you had fast passes, because a lot of times it would crash and then they wouldn't be there. And inevitably you'd have to go to like guest services or something like that. So, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's a thunderstorm coming through. That's why it kind of just got dark in here for me. So Matt, when we talk about planning ahead, talking about planning our vacations,
right.
How deep do you go whenever you start planning your vacations? Are you one of those people that are breaking it down half hour by half hour, 15 minutes by 15 minutes into an Excel sheet? Or is it more of like we're going to have a general outline, right? Dining reservations, fast passes. We're just going to kind of fill the gaps in between there.
Yeah, I'm probably that way. Obviously, the park, my major hit points that I want to hit that day, with no like, okay, at 8 a.m. I really I want to try. Let's use Magic Kingdom. I want to get on Seven Dwarfs. It's like I just have my lump core of things I want to do that day, and then I kind of just puzzle piece it. For me personally, I base it around meals.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, hey, I want to eat at Columbia Harbor House for lunch. Okay, that's where I'll try to maybe hit Haunted Mansion before that, or maybe Splash or Thunder and kind of swing back around and then head down into Tomorrowland. Stuff like that. You mean that's how I personally plan it. I know obviously as the planner, I kind of do it a little bit differently because people want a little bit more in depth of like what they need to do every 5.5 steps in the parks. So
yeah. Well, and I think whether or not we should really mention this on this podcast, I guess is debatable. I know Pam's on, so she can yell at me later. But
you know what that means.
What this is really truly replacing, if you don't know, or you've never used it before, or maybe you guys have used it before, and if you have, let us know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear about it. But what this is really replacing is an application called Touring Plans, which you could pay for, and it was usually pretty cheap, maybe like a couple bucks every month. And through that application, the biggest thing that everybody loved about it was that it would it would predict park crowds. So in a sense, you could try to plan your day at a less crowded park, and it would really predict wait times for you. And it would also do something like this, right? Where what they're saying is that it creates an itinerary for you throughout the day to maximize your amount of fun in the parks and minimize your wait time in the queue line. So I'm really interested to see exactly the details of how this is going to work, how that is going to really, replace how people are visiting the parks. Because the other thing about this too is, think about this way. This is a really great way for Disney to really spread people out, right? Not necessarily, let's not go down to conspiracy where like Disney's tracking people in the parks, but think about it. You've got your app open, and when it's open, it's probably using your location. So Disney can monitor kind of where you're at. They're going to try and spread people out to make the experience a little bit better, right?
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
So, I'm not really upset about Disney Genie. I think it is going to be something that's going to be really great. I think it's going to be. I think it will definitely enhance the experience for a lot of people. I do, especially people who come down here, because we've always. I know, Matt, you've probably talked to people like this, seen people in the parks like this, especially during Fast Pass Plus, where people are walking around and they're like, what's this other line? You
Right.
tell people it's Fast Pass. And they're like, well, how much does that cost? Where do I go buy that at? I need to get that. And it's like, no. At the time it was free. So I think that this is something that will definitely increase the guest experience, hopefully. So
Right. And the thing about it is, like, nobody should be surprised by any of this. This has been in the works for almost 3.5 years. Now it's just a
Right.
matter of like finally it's here. And I mean, obviously it comes at a bad time with we're still in a pandemic and the 50th, and tickets and prices going up, capacities at that weird level.
yeah.
After hours prices are high and stuff like that. So everybody's kind of like on edge on what is exactly what's Genie gonna. Is it a benefit for them as a family? Where are you going?
I'm trying to get some more light on me. I'm feeling very dark. Yeah, and that's a really great point. Another thing that I want to mention too, which Mindy just mentioned, is will be hard for those who depend on Wi-Fi in the parks as well. And I think that that's actually a really great point. And the other side of that is you should probably make sure that you've got a battery with you, an extra like a battery to charge your phone with, right? I mean, my Disney experience, Taylor is still notorious for draining her battery within about the 30 minutes that we've been in the park, where she has no battery. So be prepared that this is probably going to drain your battery, especially when they first release it, until they really start getting actual information back from guests using it. This is going to drain your battery like no tomorrow. So bring an extra battery pack with you, stay charged.
Yep.
And then for the Wi-Fi thing, man, I don't know that there's really any way to like compensate for that. I mean, what can you do, right? So a lot of people who are going to be visiting outside of the United States, who are probably going to rely on Disney's Wi-Fi, which we know in the past,
just shaky.
It's been a little shaky here and there, right? It definitely works really great whenever you are in line for Rise of the Resistance. I know that for a fact, but yeah, so it's going to be tough, but I think hopefully as Disney starts to get information back, right, because of the rollout,
right.
This is what I'll also say, like once they roll this out, just be prepared. Like it's gonna tank routinely for probably the first 3 months, I think. And the reason that is just because they're introducing something that's totally brand new within the system, and they're going to be able to make those changes as they get information back, right? So don't get super upset if you're having issues with it. Like I said, take screenshots of things.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it'll be cool. I hope.
Yeah, I think everybody's just got it's something new. Some people like myself, Josh, we're not us older generation. We don't like change that much.
It's true.
So
we're also used to Fast Pass, that I think it's what?
You should see Matt's like looking around, like, where's this coming from?
This mysterious voice.
I'm like Sigourney Weaver and Finding Dory.
I need to have like a little cutout of Taylor just pops up over my shoulder when she speaks.
I'm editing photos. We tried to like do it with me on my computer over here, but you could hear me clicking my mouse a lot, and we didn't think you would all enjoy listening to that. So, but I think that we're all just so used to FastPass, and I'm definitely used to FastPass because I love modifying and getting the best FastPasses all day long. And I think that we're so used to it. We love that it has been free for all these years, and I think we were really lucky to have it that it was free. Because pretty much every other amusement park or theme park that you go to does not have a free, what you would call front of the line service. So I think because it does cost a decent amount of money to use it, that that maybe not a lot of people will use it at first. And so it will be like an extremely front of the line pass.
Probably.
And like you will literally skip that whole entire line, but that also might be good for the standby line. If a lot of people are not using the lightning lane, the standby line will go quicker. So like it has been recently. Like sometimes the wait time says it's an hour and you only wait 25 minutes. So
sure,
we'll see how it goes, I guess. But I don't know. I've been having a hard time with change with a lot of things. I have finally come to accept Splash Mountain is going to be Princess and the Frog because I rewatched the movie, and the movie's actually really good, and I think it's going to be an awesome attraction, especially with the music and everything else. But I think once Disney Genie actually rolls out and we have our hands on it and we can use it ourselves, I think we'll start to like it. I think we just need to actually see it and do it.
Thank you. Voice from the beyond.
Sigourney.
Yeah, I mean, it'll like I said, don't give Disney too much hate in the beginning. There's going to be some outages. It's just that's how software is whenever you roll something out, right?
Yeah, it's not just Disney. That would be for anything.
Yeah, so there's going to be surely everybody should have their phone set up so that like creators can get feedback information on an application. So hopefully you have that set up, and Disney will get that anonymous information to talk about it. So, yeah, I mean, so, recapping just free Disney Genie, right? So personalized itinerary and tip boards. I'm interested to see like what the tips are that they're going to give people.
Right.
And, forecasted future wait times. Like I said earlier, this is kind of where Disney's managing crowd levels. They're going to manage where people are at. So, you and Bob and Jim, if they're standing in the park next to each other, I don't know why I picked those names, but if they're standing in the park next to each other and they might have all the same things that they're interested in, they might have two completely different itineraries in an effort for Disney to try and, to direct where people are going. Obviously, if you're linked to those people, your itinerary should be similar so that you're staying together with your group. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's not a lot else that's changing. Obviously, restaurant wait lists, check-ins, reservations. We already have that on the Disney Experience app. Mobile order, we already have that. Virtual queues, we already have that. And I think, Matt, we did get confirmation that Ratatouille or Remy's is going to be virtual. I kind of wonder what else we're going to see become virtual. If anything else.
Ratatouille is going to be like boarding groups.
Yeah.
Like Rest of the Resistance.
Yeah, I'm going to guess probably they got the Guardians of the Galaxy ride eventually going to open up at Epcot, right? I'm going to guess that could probably lean in that direction.
I would think so, for sure. Once it opens up.
Right.
And probably Tron, right, with Magic Kingdom as well.
I don't know. I think they might make people wait that one out.
You think so?
Because if they wait,
As
let people wait.
Better than Hagrid's, we'll be good to go.
What did the mysterious voice say?
Oh, they couldn't hear you that time. She said, as long as it runs better than Hagrid's over at Universal, we should be fine. Which I agree, but
I mean, I think if they do that, like it's going to open up some more availability, maybe on some other stuff, especially if capacity is still going to be at that lower wait time. I know Tron's still a little bit of ways, and they were doing some testing on it with some carts the other day. From what I read, I just missed that. So
oh really? They were testing.
They weren't like legit cars. They were like, I forget
they were
what
like ones testing how wide around.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha. I was like, whoa, what?
Not like real testing. It's like
not the trains.
Right. All right. I mean, so I guess I'm really not even sure what else there really isn't even mentioned about the Lightning Lane. I mean, I think we've already started to see that they have made changes to a lot of the fast pass locations. Lightning Lane has gone up.
Yeah.
It's been a very quick. I don't have any pictures.
Those are some really nice stickers they put up over things.
I was trying to avoid saying that.
Yeah,
but,
they kind of match.
You know, I'm a little surprised. I feel like some of this feels like it's a little bit rushed. I'm gonna try and pull up.
Or does this mean that it's coming sooner than we expect?
I mean, very much so. Very much so.
Could they be getting it ready and saying October 1st, here we come?
That very well
with the 50th and everything else going on, just throwing everything at us on that 10/1 date.
They could. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, hold on. Let me share this real quick for anybody that's watching out there. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll show you guys.
Yeah, that's the picture.
What this looks like, and you can tell pretty clearly that it is very much just a sticker that's gone up there. Hopefully, that they will change that stuff to, you know, something that's a much better one.
But Matt has a
right
good
there.
point. Maybe it is coming a lot sooner.
It could be.
That's why they changed it.
It very well could be something that's going to happen very, very quickly, particularly for the first.
Because you think about it, they announced Genie 2 weeks ago, so you got about another about 3.5 weeks before the 50th, the 10/1 date. So I could see it ready to go on 10/1.
Well, you know, what I think actually would have been better if they could have rolled it out sooner, right? If they could have rolled it out for maybe this entire month of September.
Or they could have rolled it out in August. It would have been great for me. I would have.
Well, I mean, even that, right? I mean, we are seeing some of the lowest crowds that we have ever seen here at Disney, and mostly that's because we still don't have all of the tourism coming in from outside of the United States, and especially with school back in for basically all the United States now. Once Labor Day clears, it's not very busy. So this would be a great time to roll it out and test it with a smaller group amount of people. You can start getting some feedback in right away and try to make those adjustments. But you're probably right that it very well may launch on the 1st, right, with as quickly as things are going up. So
or sooner.
Yeah, it's speculation. We know. So,
just trying to read some of the things here in the chat.
That's Josh's favorite thing. Speculate.
I love to speculate, of course. Who doesn't love to speculate? I'm just running through these comments here.
Yeah, me too.
So, here's a great question from
Frank.
Is Lightning Lane only for attractions? Do you think it'll include character meet and greets when they return? So, I would really think that this is also going to include character meet and greets as well. I don't think that they've mentioned that yet because they haven't come back yet.
Right.
But if you had Fast Pass before for character meet and greets, it would make sense that they're also going to introduce Lightning Lane for that as well. So it makes sense to, I think, from a business standpoint, to probably try to provide Lightning Lane for as many attractions and experiences as you possibly can.
I mean, there's been days where Mickey Mouse, the line was like an hour and a half long.
Oh yeah, it's plenty of times where it's a 90-minute wait up in.
There are people that would
Right.
definitely pay
Town
money
Square.
to go right to the front of the line.
Well, and
meet
they
Mickey
had
Mouse.
fast pass for
No,
that.
that's
though.
what I'm
Right.
saying
Yeah.
though. Like people would be like, "Oh yeah, I will pay however much it is. We'll go meet Mickey Mouse first thing, and then we can go do whatever else we want."
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I mean, it makes sense. And you know, I know a lot of people we're talking about crowd levels and introducing Lightning Lane, and it still seems like it's a little bit busy. But remember, again, that's because there still are no character meet and greets open here in Walt Disney World, so it does still feel as though it's a little all over the place.
And the
So
parade isn't happening, so that's not taking up people for however long to sit there on Main Street.
Dave, what I'm worried about is the change to the DAS Pass, the whole virtual thing, and saying you have to do it before you go worries me if they launch it while we're there on 10/1. So, you know, I don't know that we're really going to see much of a change to the DAS Pass situation. I think that they would probably keep it pretty much the
I
same.
think they announced changes
Did-
though.
Oh, did they announce changes to it?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
I don't see it on this like on Disney's main page for Disney Genie. So
I know they mentioned parts of it. I'm trying to look it up too real quick. From people that I've talked about that do use the DAS, they're excited about it, having more options of not trying to go to each individual ride right away. They can kind of do it through the app.
oh, that was much better
Oh,
than
that would be much better.
yeah.
New options to enroll in the program pre-arrival, so you can set up your DAS with Disney before you even get to Disney.
Okay.
You can select attractions directly through the app, and these options are available in addition to the existing in-person DAS program. So I think this is for the DAS program. I think that's a big benefit of where you can make your plans on the Genie app while you're
Well, I
not
mean-
while you're early morning. You can kind of go at your own pace a little bit more, not have to. Okay, someone has to go to Splash Mountain to get a DAS pass, and then you go on your own way. You can kind of do it through the app and just keep your plan going.
Yeah, which is really nice. Hopefully, you know, hopefully it's not something that's so easily done that it gets abused.
Well, I
'Cause-
think that's why they've changed it.
okay, yeah. So
So that it
hopefully,
can't be.
hopefully it'll still be beneficial for everybody that's using it who actually needs it. So all right, so we know that Disney Genie Plus, right? So there's Disney Genie, which is free to everybody who is coming to the parks through My Disney Experience. What we're really talking about now is Disney Genie Plus. This is the paid service that Matt had mentioned earlier, which is $15 per ticket per day at Walt Disney World. So just reading directly from Disney here, the price of $15 per ticket per day at Walt Disney World. Choose the next available time to arrive at a variety of attractions and experiences using the Lightning Lane entrance. You can make one selection at a time throughout the day, from classics like Haunted Mansion to thrill rides like Big Thunder Mountain and new favorites like Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. This convenient option is the next evolution in the fan favorite Disney Max Pass, blah, 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 Disneyland. Disney Genie Plus will also include Disney Parks themed audio experiences and photo features to capture your memories, and some other things. So, you know, when I said earlier about the only thing that I can really equate this to, which was Max Pass in Disneyland, and our issue that we had with Max Pass, which is what this is going to be like, is when you can only book one at a time. And if there's one attraction that you really want to ride and you make it for that attraction and it's not till 4:00 and it's only 10, you can't use anything else. You can't make any other reservations until that time. So what was really nice with FastPass Plus is that you had that option to have at least 3, so you could kind of spread that out a little bit. So at least to start with, it sounds like it's going to be a little bit more of a disadvantage for guests, but hopefully, because everybody has to pay to do it, you'll still be able to get a time that is closer to the time that you're there in the park.
Right.
Right. I mean, I don't mind, if we want to go ride Rock and Roller Coaster and it's 9 o'clock in the morning right when the park opens and we can't get one till say 10 o'clock. I don't mind going and waiting in line for something else until that time. But, when you got to spend $15 per person per day, and again, you can't get something till later, it's going to be kind of rough. So, we'll have to wait and see how that works out. But what?
Frank's comment. Frank's one of our agents, so obviously he kind of through the country. Do you see it?
There
it is.
Matt will for sure use it to get the front row to the Country Bear Jamboree.
Of course, I won't even use that. I'd pay the extra on top of that.
Yeah.
Pay the extra on top of that to get to get the front of line. So yeah, well, and that's the other thing, right? So then there is the individual attraction selections, which I don't think they have not released the price point yet. What it's going to be per attraction.
And Josh, with that, I think it's going to be I think it's going to change day to day a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm just going to use Dumbo for an example. It might be $10 on Thursday, but it might be $25 on Saturday. Obviously, I'm just using a random ride and random prices, but it's going to base off of probably weekdays, weekends, crowd, how are the crowds looking, holiday weekends. It's going to be based off a lot of different things, and people should be prepared for that your price on Thursday might not be the same price it is on Friday.
Yeah. Surge pricing.
Yes.
Which is if you've ever used Lyft or Uber, is notorious for surge pricing, especially when the parks close and you need to get back to your resort. You will pay almost double, sometimes triple what you would pay earlier in the day. So that's a really great point. I think that is definitely something that people need to think about and plan for. Again, I think this is where Disney Genie itself is not the issue. I think this is the thing that a lot of people are having an issue with, is what is the surge pricing going to look like? What are we talking on price point per attractions? To kind of ride this stuff. So I'm just thinking about this right now. I'd almost rather just go back to e-ticket attractions or the e-ticket books. Come into the park and buy a booklet of tickets, and that's what you ride, right? There's no standby lines. You take your ticket book, and you've got 5 e-ticket attractions and 5 ABCs, whatever, and that's what you do. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what this price point is going to be per attraction, per person, because it's definitely probably going to be expensive. Family of 4, I would bet you're probably going to spend at a minimum of $40, I think, on top of your $15 per ticket per day purchase. So
it's just a matter of be smart with it. Obviously, we're not telling people how to spend their money or anything, but
no, of course not.
Obviously, get an understanding of which ride you're really going to need to use it on, and some that you're not. I mean, obviously, all the bigger attractions, like Seven Dwarfs, is going to be one that I think is going to be in that capacity, and
for sure.
I mean, Everest and Flight of Passage, all those.
Matt, did we get clarification on how Rise of the Resistance is going to work? Are you still going to be able to get a boarding pass?
You're still going to be able to get a boarding pass, but you're also going to be able to pay a price to get on as well. Okay. I'm going to guess that is going to be one of the higher prices to even start with. I'm going to guess you're looking at like I said, I'm just guessing right here, maybe $50.
Oh, I don't think it'd be that much. You think so?
Yeah. Think of how hot it is. How hot to get on that
person?
Ride is.
I don't think. I think that's probably going to be.
Ears aren't even $50.
I would really think Disney's going to have a revolt on their hands if they said we're going to charge you $50 additional per person to guarantee that. I don't know. That still just seems like a lot. I can almost see where it's like, yeah, maybe. I could see it almost maybe, but man, that's a lot of money. I don't know.
Be prepared during surge times, though. It could get up to 50.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely opportunities for them to really take that price up on the weekends, of course, as we move into holidays. So, you know, I love seeing comments of people saying what Taylor's saying in the background. It's just funny. Dave makes a great point. People would pay it, though.
Yeah.
More than likely, there probably would be some people that would pay it. So I just think that's a ton of money. It's a ton of money for an attraction.
Don't get me wrong, Josh. I think it's a ton of money too, but I can see them coming out with a figure like that. Look at everything that's going on right now.
I mean, it's true.
That's $50 true.
That's true.
And some, like Dave just said, not a lot of people. Some people are not even going to blink at that for Rise of the Resistance.
Wow, right there you go. Frank says I would pay that amount to ride it more than once a day. So you would pay that. You would pay $50 each time that you would want to ride it, because it's not like $50 and then you can re-ride it. It's like it's once per attraction, like once per entrance, right? I mean that's a lot. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know.
Lindsay said, coming from another country, I would pay to guarantee Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. All right. So I guess I'm just.
It's like I can see what Lindsay's saying. That's a no-brainer, especially where people haven't really had a chance to get over and experience that yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that this is probably somewhere. I would think that, like what Amy said here, 15 to 20 for Rise of the Resistance, 8 to 10 for others. I would probably push Rise of the Resistance closer to 30 or 35 probably per attraction. But I mean, you know, and I mean, Pam just makes a good point too. Hey, look what we're paying for Boo Bash for 3 hours. You know, that's an after-hours event. It's extremely limited. Well, I mean, you can get in earlier than that, right? So if it starts, no, it's longer than 3 hours, isn't it?
No, the official
midnight. What's the official time?
It's like 7:30 to 12:30, depending on when you go.
Yeah, and I think you can usually get in like maybe a little bit before that.
No, 7 is the time we can get in.
Oh, that's the okay.
All right, you can get in at 7. Party starts at like 9.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. So, I love it. I love it. People are saying, Disney, take my money. Take my money.
I agree with what Stephanie said here. At that point, I'd rather get a bunch of people together and do a VIP tour.
Well, the thing about the VIP tour,
that's been popular recently.
But the VIP tour still is not going to include Rise of Resistance. When you do VIP, you still have to get a boarding pass. VIP, you have to get a boarding pass.
I thought
there was a lot of miscommunication about that, Josh.
Did they just change it?
Yeah, like a few months ago. You're not on social media. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, because we've done plenty of them in the past. We've done a bunch of VIP tours in the past, and they wouldn't include it. So I got it.
This year they
awesome. Well, that's good then. I mean, I agree then, Matt. You might as well just do a VIP tour. What's the point in paying? That's true. I mean, that's true. Max of 10 people. I mean, if you get 10 people together and you split it per person, it's not really that expensive to do for, I think, what's the minimum time? 6 hours?
It's
7 hours?
I think it's minimum 6 hours, and it's like $7.50 an hour or something like that. It's expensive, but it's doable.
Yeah, it's doable though when you break it down per person out of everybody that's there.
And
so
you can park hop and do whatever you want. So,
but I mean, hey, I love that people are saying Disney, take my money for this kind of stuff. I think that's very interesting. Very interesting. And I get that, right? I see other people, coming from Wisconsin in February, considering paying that just because then we are guaranteed. Our last trip was in December of 18, and we haven't seen Galaxy's Edge yet. So I get it, right? So Disney definitely knows that that they've got people who will pay it so that they're guaranteed to see it. So I will not fall into that because we live here. So
I see that says, remember, you can only buy 2 per day.
I'm not sure.
Is there a limit on something?
You can only buy 2 per day. I don't see that anywhere. I'm not sure. Because you can only get your Lightning Lane Genie Plus service is only one at a time. I don't think they said what the
So
individual attractions
attraction,
are.
Josh, I have it right here. Schedule a time to arrive at up to two of the highly demanded attractions. So what it actually might mean, Josh, is there's only going to be probably might not include every attraction in the park. It might just include
Yes, 2
like a
lightning
short
Oh.
couple, and you're only allowed 2 of them.
per day.
Right. Yeah.
The individual ride, IR.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So yeah, so you can only get 2, and you're paying extra for
I
that.
love all the money emojis like coming
Right.
in right now. It's cracking me up.
So with that being said, Matt, I agree. $50.
And then
Why not?
let's hear me out on this one, Josh. With Park Hopper, how does it work? Do you get 2 at each park, or is it 2 total for your day?
It's got to be.
2 per day,
If it's 2
so-
per day, it's got to be
Ooh.
2 per day.
Ooh, that's going to be tough.
I mean, that's surely highly demanded attractions each day using Lightning. I mean, hopefully you're not going to be restricted to pricing for these options will vary by date, attraction, and park
Right.
will be announced closer to launch. So, I mean, hopefully it'd be something where, like, if you're going to park hop, you're going to go to Magic Kingdom in the morning, you want to ride 7 Dwarfs, you ride 7 Dwarfs, pay for it, and then you're going to go to Hollywood Studios after 2 o'clock because, again, right, you have to have a park pass to book your boarding pass.
Mhm.
So you won't be able to do that at all. So hopefully then you would be able to pay that extra amount for your second attraction, which would be at Hollywood Studios.
Right.
So does everything look okay over there? Looks fine to me. She was like, "Ooh, looking behind the camera. What's going on?"
Am I though? No one can see me.
You're right. Nobody can see you. They can
I'm
sometimes
totally
barely
on.
hear you. Yeah. So I think that is pretty interesting.
Jennifer also said that the list of rides for Disney Genie Plus and the individual rides are going to be different attractions.
Will be completely. I see that it says will be completely different.
So this is
So-
interesting.
I mean, that's a lot of different stuff. And again, I know a lot of people have been asking us about it. And so I kind of wanted to have a discussion where we could at least talk about this a little bit. And of course, more details are going to get announced as we get closer to the launch, which we have no official launch yet. It just says fall, but it could happen as soon as October 1st. I mean,
I think you'll have to have another discussion about it once you've used it
Right.
would you like to have another discussion about it once we use it?
from beyond.
It's more fun when she's from the beyond.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Josh,
getting
just to
work
like kind
done
of just
while
change
we're
subjects a
talking
little bit.
Disney,
I see
like-
Frank posted currently can you get a Rise of the Resistance if you park hop.
No.
While I know I was talking to Josh while I was down there.
Well-
You've been able to get in the virtual queue later in the day because they've been able to spit through everybody that wants them. So
Yeah. So
I guess technically, yes.
I think it's not necessarily that it's everybody that wants them. I think that it is more because the attendance for Walt Disney World as a whole is down so much
right.
that they just don't have enough people who are filling up all of those spaces. So if you guys have been seeing the news a lot lately, the last couple of weeks, because it's there's not a lot of people here. They've been opening up the line. Basically, you could just walk right in, whether you had a boarding group or not.
Right.
So you could, as long as it's open, they're not checking because they're not filling up all the spaces. So
No, they are checking, but if you don't have a boarding group, you can just walk in.
yeah. That's what I mean. But I don't know how much we're actually going to see that after October 1st. We might still see that a lot. But I just don't I wouldn't get your hopes up that is something that will become.
Josh,
It's not going to be a
I know.
frequent thing.
Yeah.
especially with this new system coming out. I don't see it being frequent, but currently,
Yeah.
like if you're down there now, don't be afraid to look into it.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. If you're going to be down here up until the first, get over there and check. Right. Just get over there and
Right.
check. Most of the time, I think, right, Matt, it wasn't, like you said, not until later in the day, usually closer to the evening. Right.
I
for
think
most
a
of those
few
days.
times when we were at dinner, we were popping on and able to see that you were able to still get boarding groups
I like that.
6, 7 o'clock at night, right throughout
Yeah.
the end of the day, which
Yep.
you know what I mean is kind of fun. But that's not a guarantee. So
If you missed the
Hold on.
beginning-
I want to address a comment that just came through because this is what people like to do to me sometimes. Can we give her a seat and microphone? Silly, you're making her talk behind the scenes.
I'm assuming Sam just got
Zito,
here.
I think so.
Yes. Nobody has forced her to be the voice from the great beyond. We actually had a microphone set up for her, but she's editing photos and you can hear her clicking very violently over there as she makes edits. And so she preferred to be the voice from beyond. So nobody
They
is
did try.
nobody is
I'm taped to my chair over here.
Yeah.
He's forcing me to stay away.
that's not what's actually happening. Yeah.
I'm just
Should I
trying
hold
to
off?
read-
Should I hold off on getting my
No, get them.
park tickets until closer when I'm arriving second week of November? Yeah, I would say you should probably get them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can book your park passes.
Right. I think even with as we move in, of course, again, at least with here in the United States, things are rapidly changing again. I don't like talking about it, but with Delta being around, it is causing a lot of issues for some other places. So park capacity, it has been increased. It's been increasing ever since they've reopened. I don't see it going back down, but it certainly could. And if it goes back down, you're going to be limited on park pass availability. So if you're coming, you know you're coming, you've got your flights booked, buy your park tickets and get your park passes reserved and set.
Definitely.
This has nothing to do with Disney Genie, but since we are talking all things travel, Josh and I are going somewhere next week. And somebody just commented, Autumn.
On the screen?
Excited to see where we're going.
Oh, seen Taylor's story on the WDW couple page, and I'm excited to see where y'all are going next week. So
I know where they're going.
Oh,
Matt,
you guys didn't talk about the new annual passes.
Oh, yeah, we should talk about that.
We can save that for our next episode.
I mean, unless you don't want to talk about it today, Matt. I mean,
I think you could just address it briefly. There's only 4 categories.
I'm only eligible for one of them.
Well, yeah, you and almost every 90% of everybody else in the country.
But that's how it's always been.
No,
there's only been able to. You could only get the platinum or the platinum plus before.
Oh, is that how it was? Okay,
yes.
all right. So yeah, Taylor makes a good point. If you guys haven't seen, they did announce that we do have fast pass. Look where I'm at. I'm still on fast passes. They have announced that annual passes are coming back, and they start on sale next week. I think the 8th, September 8th. Here we go. I just found the article. Okay, big changes to the annual pass system. I don't really think so. I think a lot of people are upset, maybe for justified reasons. I don't really think so. I don't think that this is all that big of a deal. But let's talk about it real quick. We've got 4 new unique passes: Disney Pixie Dust Pass, the Disney Pirate Pass. Well, I don't understand the names for these. The Disney Sorcerer Pass and the Disney Incredi Pass.
Are you able to show those?
It is an absolute mouthful. And my camera. Did my camera die over there?
Yeah, you're
I
off.
think so. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, Taylor can see behind the camera, so.
That's what I was trying to look at. You were like, everything's fine.
You know.
Do you need a
Oh
battery?
my gosh! If you could go get me one, that'd be great.
I have one right here.
So I've got it pulled up on the screen now. You guys can see. So we've got 4 passes. They're not necessarily new. Basically, all of these things existed even beforehand. And we're going to see if Taylor can actually change this battery real quick. So we've got one that's $3.99, $6.99, $8.99, and $12.99.
Those are in hundreds, not tens.
$3.99, $6.99. Yeah, I think people can see that on the screen, right? I mean,
Just making sure.
So the biggest thing that has changed from this, which has upset a lot of people, is that PhotoPass has been removed from the top tier pass, and so has the water parks experiences and more has been removed from this pass, from the top tier pass. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, Matt, let me ask you. I mean, what has changed? Do you think that is kind of a major issue? I mean, I don't really see much that has
Just
changed.
the photo pass.
I think the photo pass
I
is the
think
one
we're
that
sad about
that's is the gripe that I've heard the most about so far is the photo pass one.
And I get that to some extent. I think what Disney has seen from doing past research with annual pass holders as a whole is that a lot of them are not using the photo pass, right? Obviously, it's really nice that you're getting all of those photos whenever you're on your attractions, but a lot of them I think they're saying are not using photo pass people out in the park, right? Whether you're going up Main Street or when you're doing character meet and greets, whatever, it's not being utilized enough. And I think in a lot of ways, this is a way for Disney to do two things, which is, or maybe it's just really one thing, which is to kind of manage their cast members that they have for those specific roles. If they have a lot of people that seem to be buying it, then they're going to be able to have that to put more cast members out there. But if they aren't, then maybe they won't have as many cast members out there. So I think that in a way that they're trying to manage spending and cast members out in the park for that experience. But
I don't think
that's my total speculation. I don't know anybody inside Disney that's giving me any information. So, that's just that's my thought. Right. So, where's it at? Where's the extras on here? Oh, they don't have. Am I going over them?
They're on there somewhere.
I don't think so. What's new? Hold more park reservations. So that's another new change, right? Right now, we can only hold 3 park reservations. If you're going to buy if you don't live in Florida and you're not a Disney Vacation Club member, the only pass that you can buy is the Disney Credit Pass, which is very expensive, $12.99 a year. And you're going to have to pay upfront for that. Unless you're a Florida resident, then you can pay monthly. So it is more expensive, right? But you can hold 5 reservations for the parks. So I'm just going to, I don't know. What do you think, Matt? Throwing it over to you while I try to find the extras here.
I mean, I'm very torn on it right now. I'll just use myself for example. I wouldn't get it right now.
Okay. Do you normally get one? I mean,
I've had it in the past.
You come pretty often, so
right. I obviously I let it run out like a lot of people did. I probably wouldn't get it right now. That's just I don't want to bash the system right now, so I'm just going to kind of I'm not getting it right now.
Okay. So this is what I was talking about earlier, where we now have this add-on edition. So before they had this whole big change, right? Taylor and I, we always had the Platinum Plus Pass, which included no blackout dates, obviously entry into all the parks whenever we wanted to go before park reservations were a thing. We had Photo Pass, parking, and the water parks and sports option. And I was kind of critical about this, but now that I look at it, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Which is when we talk about water parks and the sports option, which you guys can see up here on the screen, $99 extra plus tax for the year, and enjoy more opportunities to play with admission to water parks, golf courses, and other sensational sports experiences for the duration of the annual pass. Adding the water park sports option includes pass holder admission to select experiences with no blockout dates. when I had originally saw this, it looked like they were going to try and limit you to like one thing. But that's definitely not the case. So for 100 extra bucks, I think that this is great.
It's not bad at all.
You now get miniature golf included, which some people are like,
What?
miniature golf. Yeah. Taylor's like, what?
Let's go.
Miniature golf is like 15 to like $20 a person, depending on when you go. So now that's included. We could go once every day if we wanted to, as long as it's prior to 4:00. So it might be a little warm, but and then of course we still have the water parks, which we can go to, and Oak Trail Golf Course, which is a walking golf course, 9 holes. So I don't think that that's a big deal. I mean, it's $100, but I mean, think about the amount of money that you're saving if you only, if you go to a couple of these things. $100 is really saving you a lot of money. So, and then of course, I think what everybody was upset about was PhotoPass, $100,
Yeah.
which
And that's for the year.
And that's for the year, and it includes basically everything that it was before. But again, I think that this is a way for Disney to try and manage their cast member employees that are going out into the parks for PhotoPass. So maybe I'm trying to give Disney the benefit of the doubt here on how that works. And now here's another thing. I don't know if we know how this is going to work, and maybe Disney's listening. And if they're listening, then they might take this away. But the way that Taylor's shaking her head, don't say it. The way that PhotoPass works right now is that even if somebody is connected to your account who doesn't have PhotoPass, you can download all their photos as long as you're linked and it pops up. You can download them. So essentially, workaround. Taylor can purchase the PhotoPass for herself, and when we go take photos, she still gets all of mine.
I've actually seen some funny memes about that recently, but I'll keep that to myself.
Great job. Keep that to yourself.
Just Twitter. It's bad.
So, yeah. So I don't really know. I mean, if I had to pick something to be a little bit more kind of on the fence about with Disney, it'd be Lightning Lane, I think, at the moment, rather than annual passes. But here's a good point that we could just discuss very briefly, which is the problem with park hopping is what if the major attractions is sold out for the day by the time you get to your second park? I'm assuming the app will tell you if any are left before you hop. I know that this seems like it could be a very strong possibility. I'm going to give Disney the benefit of the doubt that this will probably not happen. When we talk about this paying this extra amount, right? The IR attractions?
Right.
I don't see that happening. I really don't. I don't think that we're going to see like Rise of the Resistance sell out for.
No, because it's not going to be like Fast Pass where it's free, so anybody can use it. Yes, anybody can use the individual attractions, whatever.
Right.
But you got to pay for that.
Yeah.
So I don't see it selling out either.
I don't either.
But I think you're right. I think that Disney will make you aware if that happens, that it's sold out. Because I remember at Disneyland, you could look at, like if you were in California Adventure, you could look at rides in Disneyland.
Right.
And see if you could go over there and do whatever ride you wanted before you actually went there. So.
Hey Matt, can we say can we also answer this question? Do you know off the top of your head?
Oh, not off the top of my head. I can't think.
I think
just only 2 days back into school. I can't do that.
Most of the time, it was usually if you're going to be in Disney World for longer than 10 days, maybe pushing like 12 now, you should probably get an annual pass. It would be cheaper. But now that they only have that one top tier pass, it might be longer. You might have to do 2 weeks in Disney for it to really be worth it. And with that being said, think about this. If you're going to be staying off property and you're going to be here for 2 weeks, this annual pass will include your parking. You'll still get your 20% discount for some dining and some merchandise types of things like that. So it does have some really great benefits. But
you're going to get your money's worth in parking. alone.
Yeah, I mean that is true. I mean you're paying 25,
At least
25 I think it is, or 30
Yeah.
to park right now. So
And
yeah.
that's good for the whole day. So if
Yeah.
you park hop,
Yep.
your parking's covered.
Yep. So but
I'm trying to do the math right now on the website, Josh. You're looking at close to maybe 13 days.
yeah, and it's tough too, because the same thing with the park tickets is that they do somewhat of a surge pricing as well,
They
right?
fluctuate.
They fluctuate a little bit. So I would say if you're going to be here, if you're gonna in for the entire year, be here more than 14 days, obviously get an annual pass. It'll probably be more than worth it for you. So
And think about it too, Josh. It's the 50th anniversary. The 50th. You can maybe make those extra trips if you have the
that's
annual.
true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Just look for cheap flights and just come whenever you can.
Yep. Look for those cheap flights like
Or drive if you're gonna have free parking.
Frontier Spirit. They've been doing so well. Awesome. So, Matt, I did want to talk a little bit about HHN. We don't necessarily have to.
I don't want you to dig too deep into it, because I know how excited you are about it, Josh. I'm just going to go at you on this one right here, right out the gate. You're walking in. Which house you going in first? You don't. I'm gonna ask a different question to Taylor.
Hold on. Let me pull the houses up again real quick. So as soon as I walk in, I wish I had a map. They don't have the maps up yet. I don't.
Nope.
think.
Don't even worry about the map. Which one, like off the names of the
do.
houses, like, ooh, this one looks good, this one doesn't. Which one are you hitting first? Line doesn't matter. Nothing.
Chronological order.
I know that's the thing. I usually go in a logical order. It's not like I don't like, oh, I'm going to go to this one first. To be honest, if I'm going to go in and it's like, let me answer it more this way. If I can only go into one house, maybe.
Yep.
Like
okay, that's fine.
I think that probably, if I could only go into one house, I think more than likely I'm probably going to do. Honestly, I really want to do Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is not going to be scary, at least in my opinion, for the most part of all the houses. But it is one that I have seen the movie. I have a little bit of nostalgia with, and so I think I'm going to enjoy it the most.
Okay. Same question to Taylor. Which house is going to scare you the most?
I don't even know what all the houses are.
Okay.
How can I see this?
You'd have to go. You can look right over here.
Send me the link.
Look right over here.
I
Look right
don't
over
have
here.
a link. Oh, hold on a second.
Here we go. I got all the houses pulled up right here. So we've got The Haunting, Beetlejuice, Chainsaw Massacre, Universal's The Bride of Frankenstein.
Scroll down, I can't see it. I think maybe like
Puppet Theater is what will. If there was one that was really going to scare me, it'd be Puppet Theater.
Yeah, that's.
I'm thinking like I don't know which one the most, but Puppet Theater, Revenge of the Tooth Fairy, and scroll up to the top. The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, the
definitely.
Haunting of Hill House.
Because the last one that scared me so bad was Us. Is that what it's called?
Oh, the Doppelgangers.
Oh no! I was ready to take the emergency exit.
If only everybody could see this.
So let me hit you with this one, Taylor. So they made the announcement with the houses that they're going to have the plexiglass up where they really can't get at you. Does that calm you or does that freak you out even more?
No, because it doesn't matter. I can still see them. They can come around that glass.
Yeah,
glad I'm not the only one.
Wait, there was a Revenge of the Tooth Fairy last year?
So last
Did
year,
we go?
no. So last year they did have a few houses where you could walk
That's right,
through.
we
They'd
did
set
go
up,
do that.
but they did not consider anything that they did last year as an official Halloween Horror Nights kind of event. Because I think last year was supposed to be the 30th. I think they're counting this year as the 30th.
Right.
To my knowledge. Right? We're calling this
believe
30th.
so.
Yeah. So they've got it right there on the website. So yeah, so they did have a few things last year, but I did not go. So yes, I am super excited for tonight. I love these events. I think that these are like some of the best events here in Orlando, and it's totally worth if you're in the area, you're going to be down here quite a few times. Get a frequent fear pass when you can come in. If you can come multiple nights, you don't necessarily need to have an express pass because you can kind of hit some different things throughout your week. But I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Or
So
if
excited.
you're going to be here for more than a couple days and you're going to Universal, an annual pass.
Or that too.
Right.
So, Dave says, super jealous. We need a live stream. Definitely not going to happen tonight. Tonight is going to be just about
A vlog.
like vlogging and capturing the experience. And I'm just like super excited to just get a bunch of B-roll of like the different areas. So obviously I cannot record inside of any of the houses. So that's not going to happen, but I can't wait. I think part of this also has excitement because I'm just imagining what it'll be like when Matt comes down to also walk through the houses. So
yeah. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I'm gonna try. It's gonna be tough for me to do it. I'm gonna kind of take myself off of YouTube. Not gonna really read up on anything, and just kind of going blank slate, eyes open, like making.
I think that's the best way to do it.
is it?
Yeah.
And that's coming from another scaredy cat to a scaredy cat.
Right.
So.
Oh, I am a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
I don't care.
She is. So
I still have fun.
That's all that matters.
It's like a scared adrenaline rush.
but then she'll never
You'll
go.
enjoy it, I promise.
But then she won't go again. She's one and done. That's it. So,
Yeah,
What's wrong
that
with
disappointed me a little bit when I heard that rumor.
What?
You're a one and done.
she does it
Oh,
one
yeah,
time and
right.
that's
I
it.
guess I won't be there when everybody else goes.
Nope, she won't be. So, yeah, well, I guess everybody out there who is listening or watching, thank you for being here and listening and watching. And if you're excited for HHN, Halloween Horror Nights, be on the lookout. Make sure that you are subscribed to Goldgell Getaways and I guess to us because we are streaming right now on the WDW Couple channel.
And if you're looking to plan your next vacation,
That's what I was gonna do. Yeah. Sorry, that's what I was going toward. I saw you posted in the thing.
Going off script today kind of threw us off.
I know. If you are looking to book your next destination vacation, whether it is to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or across the pond to somewhere else, we have an agent who can help you plan that next trip. Whether you have big kids, small kids, or no kids at all, you can head on over to www.goldgellgetaways.com to start planning your next vacation. And Pam can correct me in the comments right now if I am incorrect. But if you're interested in joining the Goldgell Getaways team and becoming a travel agent yourself and helping others plan their next vacations, you can also head on over to goldgellgetaways.com. And I think we still have a link up there for you to get started.
Yes.
Goldgell Getaways is also on Instagram.
We're on Instagram. Yes.
I try to post stories if we go like tour someplace or like.
I'm going to be back out at, I don't know if Taylor knows this yet, but I'm going to be back out over, you should just see the face I just got. I'll be back out at Halloween Horror Nights tomorrow night as well. And I'll be doing some storying and things like that, probably taking some photos, different stuff for that. So make sure that you are following along. What?
We'll talk about this later.
Oh, yikes. Awesome. So, yeah, Matt, I'm throw it over to you.
We're going to be back. Obviously, our schedules have kind of changed a little bit. So maybe we're on Fridays, maybe we're not. Maybe we pre-record, but we'll be back eventually. We'll just leave it at that.
Won't be next week, but it'll be the following week because Taylor and I are going to be traveling. As we kind of got that brought up in the comments there. So
unless we pre-record, we can maybe throw a pre-record in there.
Potentially,
maybe.
Yeah,
we'll talk.
We'll
and I think we're going to go down the path of we'll just refer to it as my Margaritaville adventure.
Okay.
Oh,
we're going to talk Margaritaville, the resorts, the cottages, my week stay there of the property. We'll talk about that.
Awesome.
And then hopefully, Josh, also this last one, Space 220 opens up on September 20th.
Oh, I
hopefully,
know.
Hopefully we can get some more information on that. I wish I could fly down for that. But
yeah, we're still waiting to hear when you can actually make the reservations. So it should be very, very soon.
But other than that, this was a productive hour and 20 minutes in
I
the
thought it
middle of
worked
the
really
day.
well. I think it worked well. Went well.
But
I'll take it. Okay.
you-
Taylor's like, I'm done.
yeah, she's
Be
calling
out
it,
of here.
calling it a day. Since Taylor already said it, make sure to check us out on all our social media accounts. Make sure to like and subscribe both on the WDW Couple and the Goldgell Getaways YouTube channel. There's the mysterious hand. It's just there. And
Yep.
now we're off to plan your next vacation.
Bye, everybody.
See you next time, guys.